Hey free-to-play gang, welcome back to another video. Oh my god, I waited for 4 hours for this to drop and it didn't even drop. This is currently like on the game itself. It's a ninja drop. Okay, anyway, without further ado, let's start. So this is, I think, 3.0.3, I think. Anyway, we're going to talk a little bit more about the new Espers for this video. So unless I have enough time to cover the rest of the content, so we're going to start immediately. My cat is meowing. Okay, so Zora. Zora is a fighter Esper who excels at AoE attacks. She is going to be a flow attuned Esper. I know that, she was showcased as like wind type and something like that in the quiz. But Zora's first ability, Keen Edge, deals damage to all enemies subject to the caster's attack, steals HP based on the damage dealt, and inflicts disease. So it's basically like a lifesteal with diseased. And the fewer the targets, the higher the damage. Wow, okay, so her first skill does an AoE damage. That's pretty good. That's pretty good for, for the farming, right? But honestly, I think this can be quite interesting. Wow, yes, I do feel like she can be quite a good fodder farmer. And the thing is, she does more damage the fewer the enemy targets that are left standing. Zora's second ability, Dark Descent, attacks one target multiple times, deals damage based on attack, and increases damage upon a crit and gains speed up. So I think she has like more multipliers than just basically crit damage, right? Has a chance of casting Keen Edge based on the caster's HP. I'm not sure whether is this max HP or is this current HP as like a percentage. Now here's the Ascension effect, which is just basically one-liner over here. Has a chance of dispelling buffs from the target. This is pretty interesting. So she has a potential to strip. So I guess this is like a multi-hit attack on one single target that strips a lot of buffs. So this can be quite game-changing because she is also a flow type. So this is going to be quite useful against like Esper such as Clara, for example, and maybe even Renzi. I think this can be a pretty decent choice against Renzi. And well, obviously Dona as well, right? As long as you can strip Dona like crazy, he is basically, left in the open. So as far as I'm aware right now, this is a pretty decent Esper for the end game. And Zora's third ability, Galactic Rush, Yamato Cannon maybe, deals damage to all enemies based on the caster's attack and inflicts buff blocker on them. Has a chance of casting Keen Edge based on the caster's HP. So this Esper is very interesting in my opinion. This is not exactly like a very unique kit, but the thing is, when she casts her skill 2 and her skill 3, she has a chance of going back into her skill 1, which does AoE damage and does more damage based on the number of enemies left, right? So the fewer the enemies, the more damage she does. And I suspect based on the way her kit is designed, the lower her HP, the more damage she will do. So that would make her a bruiser. This is very good, especially for flow type DPS Espers, because currently there are not many flow type DPS Espers who are, like straight up DPS. So for example, there is Biondina, but she has a catch, right? You need to like attack unbuffed targets. And there is also Jiangman, but the thing is, Jiangman does Jiangman stuff. So this is potentially very interesting, especially when her third skill has buff blocker as well. I think you can create some very interesting synergies with this. This is very nice. Okay, now moving on to the 4-star flow attuned fighter Esper Xiao, aka the Azure, aka the Azure Dragon. I'm not sure whether I read that right. This is the word that I never ever understand. Xiao is a single target fighter Esper who has stealth abilities. Is this something new? Let's find out. Xiao's first ability, Shadow Sword, deals damage to one enemy based on attack, deals bonus damage equal to a certain percentage of attack upon crit. This is pretty interesting. So he does more damage on a crit as well, pretty similar to Zora. Now Xiao's second ability, Dragon Gasp, attacks one target multiple times. Each attack deals damage based on the caster's attack. And Xiao enters stealth mode after the attack, so this is a new buff. While the caster is in stealth mode, damage is increased by a percentage. Well, it doesn't really matter whether he can be attacked or not, maybe he can be attacked by AoE skills and all that, but he does more damage while in stealth mode. That's cool, but we must also see how much is the increase in the damage. And oh my god, dude, his Ascension enters stealth mode at the start of combat. Okay, so between Xiao and Zora, this is kind of like pushing back the weight of speed meta forward and like pushing your tanky meta backwards a little bit. There's a little bit of a balance moving on here. So like in the previous patch, tanky meta was actually a lot more improved, especially in the Ollie banner, but now they're kind of like pushing it back into speed meta. And here's the effect of stealth mode, right? You cannot be targeted directly, but will take AoE damage. Okay, yeah, I got it right. Oh wow. Now Xiao's third ability, Blossom Sword, attacks one target multiple times, pretty similar to the second skill as well, each dealing damage based on the caster's attack, and each debuff on the target increases damage by a percentage up to a certain limit. Gain stealth mode upon killing the target. This is so good, dude. This is so good. I can imagine that this is immediately very useful for Temporal Tower and immediately very useful for Cube Miracle. Is it necessarily good for Holo Battle and Point War? Maybe, maybe not, depending on whether the enemies are able to cleanse, depending on whether the enemies are also able to drop immunity buffs. But the thing is, if you're able to time this perfectly, let's say you have your debuffers, you know, like having all the AP push and all that, and you're just stacking all that debuffs, and you fine-tune it such that your Xiao takes the next turn, this can be really insane. You can potentially take out 2 enemies like that, you know. You can take out 1 enemy with his 3rd skill over here, and then you move on to his 2nd skill, which snipes someone else. I think this is pretty cool. Now next we have Aurelius, who is Ullr. He is also going to be a 4-star flow attuned Esper. Now, Aurelius is a fighter Esper capable of freezing enemies and dealing extra damage to frozen enemies. Okay, so now we have a reason for freezing as a debuff. Now, Aurelius' first ability, Icicle Darts, deals damage to 1 target based on attack. There is a chance of inflicting speed down on the target. Okay, pretty similar to Longmian, I guess. Aurelius' second ability, Ice Break Fury, attacks 1 target and another multi-hit. Dude, they are kind of like pushing Fafnir, right? I think these few Espers are pretty decent in Fafnir as well. Especially for, dude, this one, right? Xiao. If you're able to destroy the right Fafnir crystal and land a lot of debuffs on Fafnir, this skill can potentially be very strong. Now, if the target is frozen, the last hit unfreezes them. Unfreezes them, okay, and deals extra damage based on the attack. This seems a little bit dangerous to use unless you're guaranteed, you know, to take the last hit, right? So, on Ascension, oh freaking hell, dude, on Ascension, the attack ignores the enemy's defense? Is it 100% ignore defense? This is crazy. Sure, take away your freeze. Death is the best crowd control, dude. Okay, and then moving on to Aurelius' 3rd ability, Frost Glory. Attacks all enemies multiple times based on attack. The first hit inflicts freeze, and the second hit deals extra damage to frozen enemies based on... What the heck? Dude, this is such a strong combo with Kaylee and Longmian, right? My god, this is actually pretty insane. This is actually pretty cool. Okay, so I think this is all the time we have for just the Esper coverage. I will make another video for the rest of the features as well. So hope to see you guys on the next one. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, don't forget to leave a thumbs up. It really helps the channel, and subscribe for more Dislyte content. Now, this has been Daddy Free to Play, and as always, I will see you in the next video. Man, these Espers though, I'm definitely gonna go very heavy on the banner. Definitely.